time, it seems like some of them do very much the same thing that meditation does. So, why is this interesting? Neoplatonism basically wins the competition against the others. Who are the followers of the other philosophies, the post-Aristotelian philosophies? Cynics has its, the cynic life has its drawbacks. Not a whole lot of people want to give up everything. The Epicureans, basically, if you think about it, that's really the philosophy for rich people, relatively. How many people can afford to have their own farm or have their own property and raise their children and not have any attachments to society? That's kind of an expensive idea. Stoicism, we have that, and by the way, many Christians can also be thought of as Stoics. When we talk about St. Augustine, we definitely have the view of many that think of St. Augustine as not only a Platonist, but also a Stoic in his teachings, right? And then if you think of the skeptic, well, that's a healthy feeling. A lot of us are encouraged to be skeptical about a lot of things. I remember even the one cute little kid, when his father says something to him, the kid says, "I'm skeptical." It's cute little video. But we end up with Christianity becoming the dominant religion. And it's monotheistic. So if you think of theism, that's basically believing in a God. But monotheism is believing in only one. So who was the first monotheist? Akhenaten?
Oh, no.
No, I think you're right. I mean, historically, who's the first?
Technically, it would be the Semites, right?
Well, Akhenaten is before.
Some people think Akhenaten was Moses. Oh, there you go.
Oh, no. Well, there has got to be a connection, though. This is, if you like Freud, anybody ever heard of Freud? Ziggy. One of his books, and some of my friends liked it best of all of his books, was Moses the Monotheist, or Moses the Egyptian, which was it? Let me double check here. Actually online. So you can go and notice it's right there. You can go and read Freud's, it's a little book all about Moses, and Freud argues that Moses was a follower or a high priest of Akhenaten. In fact, Moshe means out of, and of course the story refers to Moses as being pulled out of the river. His mother had put him in a basket and floated him down the river to save him. And the Egyptian princess found the basket and retrieved it, or had a slave retrieve it, found this little baby and decided to raise it herself. And so the story goes that Moses was raised by the Egyptians and became a prince, an Egyptian prince. Yes, until he got mad at an Egyptian guard and he slew the guard because of the way the guard was treating the slaves. And so he had to make a run for it. But where did the idea of monotheism start? And it seems to be Akhenaten. So Akhenaten is a pharaoh. In fact, he's originally, he was known as right before the 5th year of his reign, he was known as Amenhotep. So Amen is the primary god, but Aten becomes the god for him, and that means the sun. So he began worshiping the sun and thought that the sun was the only god and all the others were fake. And the interesting thing, of course, about this is that as the pharaoh, his job, I hope he was a good stoic, was to travel from temple to temple, going to each temple in time for the sun to rise up in the specific spot where that temple was designed, so that he would be there exactly at the moment when the sun, and so there for the ceremonies, for the people, for the priests of that particular temple. And there were temples all up and down the Nile, and so the pharaoh was really quite busy, and he probably got to the point where he decided, I hate this, and so I'm going to declare that all the other gods are false, and I just have the one god, Aten, and so he built his new city, and basically that screwed things up for all of the rest of the priesthood up and down the river, because now they didn't have the people coming and basically giving all their resources to that temple, which was really important for, of course, the society. That's really what that was all about. And so he got very unpopular very quickly, I think about roughly 15 years, and then he died. The question is, was he murdered? Did he die of natural causes? His body, he definitely was not physically healthy. If you look at the images, one of my favorites actually is go to YouTube. Actually, what I want to do is go to see if I can find my. Here it is. I made this at the University of Pennsylvania, and here's so there's Akhenaten. This is an actual stela from Egypt that the museum stole from Egypt. I don't know how we got it, but it's there. It was there when I was a kid, so it's been there a long time. My mom used to take me in the stroller. Still remember, she used to take me to the museum, the big one up on the hill in Philadelphia. We lived in an apartment right across the street from the bridge. So she used to take me on walks. And my aunt Helen, who's still alive, she remembers being allowed to take me on walks too. And that's fun. So we can think of that. But this is in the Museum of Art and Archaeology at the University of Pennsylvania. It's right across from Franklin Field. So if you ever get a chance to go there, get off at 36, take a right. Use your MPS system or whatever. MPS? MPI? The thing in the car that tells you where you are. Yes. GPS, thank you. I've had them since, they invented them, but, I'm getting old. In any case, you could visit and you could see these old stones. And so notice his shape. So they always depict him as having the shape. By the way, his son, and it's complex, was it really his son or not, was King Tut, Tutankhamun. He was actually Tutankhaten initially, but once his dad died and the priest put him as a young man on top of the throne, they changed his name to Tutankhamun. So basically, the monotheists were gone. So that Akhenaten creates monotheism, and the high priest fled, And of course, Freud thinks that Moses was that high priest. So where did Moses get the idea of a monotheistic religion? Seems to have come from Akhenaten. Is this fun? Yes? Quiz question was, what do you think of the golden ratio, or phi, or phi? And next class we'll start talking about monotheism on, and how we get, because by the next class, this is Wednesday, so next week, Monday, we'll be talking about religion, and then Wednesday we'll be talking about St. Augustine. So that's how we get there. Good? Any questions?
How do you submit the first exam that's due on the 20th?
The same way, email, and you can put it in the text of your email, that's the easiest, really. If you want to attach a document, okay, but you don't have to. Thank you,
copy
Colin.
and paste it.
Yeah, just paste it in. And that's easy for me. I reformat them anyway when I get them, because I save everything as an HTML file,
Gotcha.
because I don't want Microsoft Word not letting me, 20 years from now, if you email me and
Able to
say,
access them.
can you send me a reference letter to such and such? I'll be able to go and pull up your, oh yeah, I can send you a letter. Easy. The camera worked this time.
Yeah.